Now to Egypt, where former President Hosni Mubarak has been in seclusion since he was forced out of office by protesters 6 months ago. But this morning he's in court, denying that he ordered protesters to be killed. CBS News correspondent Elizabeth Palmer is in Cairo with the latest. Elizabeth, good morning.
Morning, Chris. Well, it's been a real cliffhanger. Right until the last second, there were rumors swirling that President Hosni Mubarak would be too ill to come to court. He's been in hospital under arrest in the resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. And in fact, the hundreds of people who were gathered here outside the courtroom didn't believe till the very last second that it was going to happen until they saw it with their own eyes.
Former President Hosni Mubarak wheeled into court on a gurney to face charges of corruption and ordering the killing of protesters in Egypt's uprising earlier this year. Mubarak was forced out of office on February 11th after millions of Egyptians took to the streets and took over Cairo's central Tahrir Square. The army stood by the people, but more than 800 were shot or beaten to death by government thugs. Mubarak joins his 2 sons and 7 other government officials on trial in a barred cage that's part of normal procedure in Egyptian criminal proceedings, but unthinkable until now for a former strongman president in the Arab world. Asked by the judge whether he understood the charges against him, Mubarak said yes he did, and he pleaded not guilty. Outside the court, a crowd of several hundred people had gathered just after dawn. As they waited in the crushing heat, fights broke out between pro- and anti-Mubarak factions until riot police flooded in to separate them. At last, a helicopter flew overhead, signaling Mubarak really was on his way to this makeshift courtroom in a suburban police academy. The minute he appeared on the big public video screen, the crowd grew still, mesmerized by a spectacle they simply never dreamed they would actually see.
Now, the session has just ended, but before it did, we saw some really scrappy exchanges between the judge and the lawyers. This is justice, but it's also grand theater. And all of Egypt, in fact, almost everybody in the Arab world is absolutely glued to the television until this thing is over. Chris?
Yes, lots of people watching. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer in Cairo for us this morning. Liz, thanks.